Everybody wave hi.
Hi.
If you haven't already, go ahead, subscribe to this channel, as well as click the bell so you can be notified when my next video drops. So today's video is going to be on the importance of hearing God's voice for yourself. So if you follow me on my Instagram, Nouriched Soul, I posted a Instagram reel on how to hear from God. You learn to hear God's voice through prayer, just having a prayer life where you're constantly talking to God, as well as reading the Word. God talks to you through the Word. If He is showing you something, like showing you a sign, talking to you, it's always something that aligns with His Word. So it's important that you know the Word for yourself. You should be meditating on your Word. It says meditate day and night. So reading your Word, as well as worship. Worship really opens up like heaven. Like it just allows you to be connected to the source. So you definitely want to make sure that you are just having worship time as well. And that will allow you to really be able to hear God's voice for yourself. So today's video is going to be on the importance of hearing God's voice for yourself. So I was once in a season where I believe I'm not as connected with God as so-and-so. Or I don't know, I don't hear from God like that. Or I don't know, is that right? Is that wrong? Is God really saying that? I would second guess myself so much to the point where I would reach out to other people. I would ask them hey, can you pray about this? Hey, can you tell me what you think about this? I was so insecure. I was insecure about myself, but I also was insecure about my own prayer life. So I have learned that in that season when I was asking other people to pray, I wasn't going to God myself with certain things. I ended up getting into a really unhealthy relationship. They had toxic ways, but I had my toxic ways too, and I talked about that on my channel. If you haven't watched that video, I will link it. But one of my toxic things was being so insecure and unconfident in myself that I was constantly asking other people to pray, asking other people to confirm and tell me what they think. And when you do that, you end up creating a idle relationship with that person. You don't give yourself the chance to learn God's voice, to have accuracy and different things like that. I feel with me having an insecurity with myself and kind of being insecure in a way in my relationship with God, when I kept being told no, you're not saying that correctly, or no, that's not that, when I was being told different things, it really was just crushing me. So let's say I started with this hole, maybe it was this big of insecurity, and just being in that relationship just tanked it. So now I have this humongous hole of insecurity. So it's important to hear the word for yourself, to understand God's voice for yourself, to pray for yourself. Confirmation is always good. I believe in accountability. I believe in mentorship. I believe in even prophets. I've had prophetic words spoken over my life and they have saved me. But when I tell you that it's so important that you know the word for yourself, because when nobody else can give you a word, when nobody else can help you up, when nobody else understands what you're going through, you have to be able to hear God's word for yourself. You have to be able to differentiate what is God and what is not. Because if you can't do that, you'll find yourself to be like so hopeless because you're so dependent on man instead of God. And that's what happened to me. I ended up separating from that relationship and repenting because I made it an idol relationship, and really just dealing with myself, dealing with my own inner wounds, because your girl was messed up. I had some issues, and I just learned that no, I can't be dependent on man. I have to be dependent on God. I have to know God's voice for myself, because nobody else can get me up out of the pit. Nobody else can take me out of the darkness. Like, there are gonna be moments where it's just you, and you're gonna have to know how to intercede for yourself. You're gonna have to know how to tell how to just navigate life yourself, because if you are dependent on man, you will never be able to know what's good, what's bad. Like, you're always going to be confused and looking for like a sign and looking for a wonder, looking for the next prophetic word. Like, no, now that I am healed, now that I'm healthy, now that I'm whole, we're not looking for no words around here. We're not looking for any signs. I'm looking for signs that God is doing through me for other people. I'm looking for people to confirm words that I have already received from God myself. That's what I'm looking for in this season, like, period, in this life. I don't want to be in a place where I don't know God's voice. I never want to be in that place where I'm not confident in who my God is to me. I have to know who he is to me. I have to know what he's saying to me. So, I hope that helps someone. It's so important to know who God is to you. It's nothing wrong with getting help every now and then. It's nothing wrong with being in a low place and wanting to get a word or a message. It's nothing wrong with that, but you have to really ask yourself, like, are you praying for you? Are you doing what you need to be doing for you? Are you having the faith and putting in the work, or are you relying on someone else's faith and work? Because in order for them to give you a message, a word, they have to put their faith and their work to get to a place where it's a butterfly. They have to put their faith and work together to be able to get a message, to be able to hear God for you. So before you go and pull on somebody else's faith, pull on somebody else's oil, go get your own, because the same oil that they have, you can go get it yourself. You can go get it yourself. So I hope that this helped. If you didn't know anything from this video, I hope you got the fact that it's important to hear God's words for yourself and not to depend on man. So until next time, happy healing. Oh, you want to give him a kiss?